United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, welcome everybody to our work session here, May 6, 2024. I will ask the Secretary Treasurer to call the roll.
Okay. Scott Horowitz.
Here.
Ed Warner Jr., present. Richard T. Marin.
Here.
Present. Joseph McLaughlin.
Here.
Matt Parsons.
Present.
Present, we have a quorum.
All right, welcome everybody. Nice to see you. We've got some discussions on. We'll jump right into that because we've got a busy day going on here today. So Trustee Marin, you have a couple of
Yeah, I'll make
updates?
it short and sweet. So simply just Mecox. Mecox has got, just so the board knows, Mecox closed itself, but it's got a deep cut, almost all to the ocean, all the way to the ocean, and not much washover. So I believe it's going to be beyond the 300 meters. If we do have to pop it in an emergency, we could probably get it open. And
Okay.
so the channel has stayed deep. SAG closed itself as well.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
is there any other questions?
how far off are we from the trigger points?
Well, it's right to the, it drained out almost to the bottom of where it needs to be. And then the other nice thing is, it seems like there's a decent shoal that, if we have to drop this thing in the heat of the summer, I don't think it's gonna drop too far where we're gonna nuke the bay. So I think it's a good balance for a summer opening.
Okay, so we'll just have to play it by ear and see how it goes. That's what we'll do,
We have
right?
to- I mean, as you know, the long-range forecast for the next 2 or 3 weeks is quite a bit of rain coming again, so we just have to monitor it. Being that we've had all the precipitation all winter and in the spring here, there's a lot of groundwater that's going to infuse back into that body of water. So I think we should monitor it weekly and assess, maybe in a couple of weeks where it is, just to get a,
Good idea.
Mo-
Hopefully it
moving for-
opens itself.
well, yeah,
We won't be that lucky.
Yeah, we won't.
We won't be that lucky. So
But it was a calm opening, so the channel, it didn't blow the sand into the
Yeah.
channel. It's like right to the ocean's edge. So.
well, that's good because we have a lot less of a cut to make.
Yeah,
and-
you could do it
and
with a
it's-
shovel. Probably.
Yep.
So standard protocol. We'll
Yep.
watch the triggers, we'll monitor the birds, and then we will take the necessary action when the situation arises, and we'll work with everybody, regulatory authority-wise, and do the best we can. Now you have another,
Yeah, another
Thing on
hot
here.
topic. I thought there was going to be more people from the industry here today. I just want to open this up as a discussion. It'd be PRBs and bulkhead design. There's really good potential of utilizing bulkheads for actually being a PRB. And I really want to reach out to the industry for feedback on such an item, whereby is wood chips the best biomedia? Can existing bulkheads be retrofitted for a PRB? Are the returns long enough for a PRB? Because quite frankly, there's just applications where a low sill bulkhead and or removing a bulkhead, if it doesn't have a permit, is just not the correct protocol. And there's a lot of areas, if you look at the topography of the land, where most of the spots that you need a bulkheaded structure is probably very applicable for a PRB. So I'm reaching out to the industry to kind of, you guys get a lot more stuff in the mail for this. And I would like the industry to come back to the trustees and say, look, this is what I know about PRBs. This is what we could possibly start to implement in construction of the PRBs. Because quite frankly, there's probably money there to help facilitate paying for the water tests and or the construction of a bulkhead with PRBs. We've got to step it up a notch as far as water quality. There's also a lot of road drainage areas where a PRB should be utilized. And instead of just being like, oh, well, this is how we did it for years, and let's have road runoff from Noyak Road go into Noyak Creek, then it's like, we're past that. The technology is there, the knowledge is there, so I would like the industry to come back and I'd like to have their feedback because you guys are the professionals.
yeah, I think PRBs are definitely an interesting item for specific applications, and I think that, it's something that we should definitely take a look at. I think it's a much broader conversation because, in my looking at PRBs, you got to make sure that you do the proper testing, prior to engaging in it, so that that's where you're going to be catching your nitrogen flow, and you want to make sure that you're providing the right medication for the right symptoms and not, creating some other issue. But it's certainly a good conversation. It's certainly something to look at and study from a holistic approach. I guess some folks were going to come to talk about this.
No, this was just, I thought there was gonna be a few more applicants in the industry, so do the coconut telegraph to other people in the industry and, let's start to engage in a conversation, because I believe it's important, and there's bulkheads that are just not permitted, Is this a mandatory protocol for somebody that doesn't have a permitted bulkhead and they have to implement it as a PRB? In order to get the bulkhead structure, if the testing warrants it.
Right. It's certainly a good conversation. I think we'll have to spend a lot of time on that, looking at it from a holistic perspective, because I think that when you get into the bulkheads, you're into the wetlands and the net loss of wetlands. So it's like the nitrogen is important, but then there's the whole wetland aspect of it as well. So it's a great conversation, and PRBs certainly need to be looked at. And I think that we'll have to perhaps dedicate maybe a whole, work session.
Let them drum up let the industry come to us with some ideas so we can start to discuss it.
Sure.
James, didn't Ron Paulson and Wally Griffin reach out to us to do a presentation on PRBs?
They just did one.
Yeah.
We just did one for about an hour.
But the thing with PRB is you can't place them haphazardly. You have to look at the groundwater flow in the area. And the reason the PRBs work is it intercepts the groundwater. It has nothing to do with really the surface water. And that's where, we have to evaluate each project. And if a project is worthy of a PRB, a lot of work should be done as far as groundwater truthing before it gets implemented. Because PRBs in some areas could have a real negative effect. So, it's a case-by-case basis, and I would never want to hold up a bulkhead application, possibly or not possibly, for a PRB, because I believe a PRB can be put in after the bulkhead has been, put in place.
Well, these are answers we don't know, because you need permeable structure through it. So like they can't rip the sheathing out and drill holes and.
Well, the water actually goes down and around it. It's a process. For it to happen. And in the craft, each project, I think it's a site by site or a project by project. Look at.
Yeah.
Which is a little beyond our skill set, but that's why we have Cornell and the Chris Goldberg and the experts. Evaluating each one of these applications. And
it's a massive conversation.
And hopefully, moving forward, if they're vetted through this process and they qualify, maybe the CPF funding, that they can be using for the permeable reactive barrier on each project. So everybody gets, every homeowner gets a buy-in, for the money that they give to the CPF funds.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sorry, what are the potential downsides?
That's a question I can't answer. I mean, I know.
I just will know.
There are
we
downsides.
are very aware.
definitely
We are
downsides.
very aware, though, that most of the areas in the town where there's hardening structures, if you look at the topography of the town, and I guarantee that a lot of those areas have groundwater intrusion into that. If you look all the creeks where we have a lot of bulkheaded structures, where it was originally pumped by the Army Corps of Engineers, and we created a canal. Like, those areas have a lot of groundwater intrusion.
Yeah.
So it might be a hand-in-hand kind of benefit for the marine environment.
Yeah,
USGS has a lot of wells around it, tells you the groundwater flow and the rates and everything. So we should initiate that conversation with them also.
That's a massive conversation.
Yes.
That we'll have to dedicate
Yeah.
quite a study towards
Just putting
that.
it out there.
Yeah, no, it's a good conversation, but that's a massive undertaking to get it to actually work.
Yes.
properly, right? But it's a good conversation.
But it's water quality, and there's funding for it, and, being that we're the we inherit all the problems of the upland. I think it's upon us to really pursue this, in a
Well, we
in
just
a
had
fashion that, makes it,
Well-
education for the public, and, that's what I'm looking for.
well, we just had a whole conversation a couple meetings ago.
Yes,
60 or 80 slides about it.
Yep.
And the whole thing is about getting the data to know that you're in an area where it's not just ground flow, that you're having, these contaminants, this nitrogen that's in that area. And you got to make sure you're not putting this in an area where it's just going to hit that and go around it. There's other obstructions. It's not as easy as it seems. It seems like, well, we'll just dig it up, put some wood chips here, and it's a lot bigger conversation. It's a good conversation, but it's nothing that you just jump into. You got to ease in. You got to do the studies. You got to do get all that data. You got to really take a hard look at it and figure out, is this going to work or is it not going to work? And we could dedicate some time to this, and it should be something that, we collaboratively work on and get all this information, because I believe you can do some harm if you do not get it right, and you certainly don't want to do that. And I think we'll just keep moving forward in learning about it,
all right.
right? And there's other people, like to your point, that could come in and also speak about this. I know, we just had them in, but there's a lot more to learn about this, and I think we should move in that direction. All right, so let's go into the waterfowl hunting locations. I know we had some staffing issues this morning. Are we ready to?
We're ready.
Jump-
Shakira is on Zoom.
Shakira's going to come on.
Morning,
We-
Shakira,
we-
you have
we-
to
we-
drop your,
Drop your
lens
camera a little bit.
a little bit.
Beaming in
There we
from
go. You're
beautiful downtown Hampton Bays, the trustee office at 240 West.
That's good.
There you go, we're good.
All right, so you have William Miller, permit number 280.
Yeah, so his permit was so he's had his duck blind since 2018. He had no other past violations. This was his first one. Also, there was a little confusion the last time whether his location was under William Miller Senior or Junior. It was always under Junior. And he's always had the ownership of it, William Miller Junior.
What location is this, James?
Location 280.
What's the constable recommendation on this? Is this conforming to the program at this point in time?
So he had failure to have blind grass and replaced by December 31st. Later he sent pictures stating that he moved the blind in off-season due to recurring storms, but the blind was issued an NOV from non-compliance and not for its location in off-season.
Yes, so I think the last time we talked is everybody on this list gets a red flag, and it's their first and final warning.
Yeah.
And if they've come to us and said, look, I won't do this again, I'm doing this everything to the best of my ability, but it's my understanding that the blinds don't get moved to another location, they get moved off the water body, correct?
Yeah, they can get moved off the water body to make it secure for the,
For the
off-season.
off-season.
Yeah.
So is that the protocol that should be taking place with this blind?
No, because we would, only in Mecox we have that protocol. They
Okay.
can't be in the big body of Mecox, they have to be in the tributaries for the, winter months, for the summer months. And some of the guys in East Quogue do that on their own, but we don't have any specific.
It's not a mandate, they
It's
just
not a
take the
mandate.
action, but they really should be
Yeah.
better communication with the Marine
With the
Patrol.
Marine Patrol.
That way they know what's going on, and
Yeah.
there's no issue, and I think that it requires, better communication.
Yeah.
So what's their recommendation now, Shakira? You have a recommendation from the constables?
No, they left it to your decision.
Yeah.
All right, so you're gonna red flag them?
So
Yeah.
allow them to keep it.
Allow them to
but-
keep
Yeah.
it, but the first and final warning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next one is Daniel Lozado.
Yeah, Danny Azzato. I made a couple phone calls. He finally got back to me. I believe there was a mix-up because he has a duck boat. He did hunt it. He furnished pictures, and I believe he had correspondence with the Bay Constables, Shakira. Did he also contact the office?
Yes, he submitted his pictures, on the 26th of April.
Yeah, so, I mean, basically, he did, he told me he didn't know he had to contact the Bay Constables and let them know that he was actively hunting to qualify for keeping his blind location. So, after a back and forth, now that he knows it, I recommend, I personally recommend that he's allowed to keep his blind, but, just put a note in there that, for the future.
Same thing?
Yeah.
Red flag on there?
Yeah.
Okay. And you got Frank
Frank Dosh, yes,
from at 90.
yes,
Frank's here today.
He
yes.
has two, and he's in the audience, yes.
Yeah, he's one of my locations as well.
Yeah.
He's here today.
Did you want to
Why
come
don't
up?
you come on up, sign in, state
Yes.
your name for the record, since you came all the way down here to represent. Hello.
Frank, how are
You
you?
gotta sign in. Yeah. And state your name for the record. Very official. Okay.
You have a couple of hunting locations, and I don't believe you've had any other, issues in the past, so.
No,
Can you give us an overview of what's going on so that we can
well,
make?
what happened was I got a call from Florida that I was getting a renter in a month earlier. So I had to do everything on the blinds before I left. And unfortunately, I had my grandchildren helping me, and they didn't do a very good job because the first couple of storms, half the grass came off the blind. And then while we were in Florida getting that ready, my wife's brother died. And so then we had to go to upstate New York to take care of, because she's the executor. So I didn't get back, and I had everything ready, but I just, with all this going on, I forgot to sign in. I mean, register, call in saying everything was ready. And I've had these spots, and like we said, I've never had an issue. It's just, I just totally forgot because I had so much going on, and I didn't call it in.
Okay.
And if I had called it in, we wouldn't have a problem.
I appreciate you coming down here to speak to that, and I think.
And I have one other question. Like, all these years, I never, half the time, I grass the back of the blind. If I have the grass, I'll grass it. If I don't, I normally don't, because the birds don't come behind the blind, and even if they do, by doing beach, I don't want to shoot towards the road.
Of course not.
And it's illegal, so
Yeah.
I never found it really necessary
Well-
to do the back. And the reason I'm here is because I wanted to ask you, is it necessary for me to have to do the back of the blind? Will that court stop?
We don't have criteria on how you grass your blind. It's each preference of each hunter. But if you're gonna be out there actively hunting with decoys there, just take a picture and a timestamp on it and on your camera, and it shows that you're actively hunting. I mean, some guys just have stick blinds, they cut a couple trees down and they call it a blind. We don't have any standards by which blinds are maintained or hunted. So, I mean, if you're actively hunting, that's what we wanna see. Your decoys in the water, you in the blind, and to show us, and a call in, that will, verify that you're there and
Right.
you qualify.
Okay, so
You-
what you're telling me then is, every year I'm gonna take a picture saying the blind is there, we're actively hunting it?
Yeah.
You need to hunt your, listen, you need
Yeah.
to hunt your
I know,
blind.
I
You-
did hunt the
because-
position, I got to hunt, because I left the day after Thanksgiving,
Right.
so we hunted Cold Springs, and that's all I got to hunt, and then I didn't get back till January.
Right. But-
So then we hunted Shinnecock.
Right, But
So my blinds are used a lot.
okay, and it's important that that's articulated, because you have to understand, you have this privilege of having these spots, and you have a very long waiting list of the next generation that wants a chance, you know what I mean? So if people are actively hunting and they're utilizing the resource properly, that's what it's all about. But if the constables, Marine Patrol, if they don't know that and they don't see that, they're managing the program, they're letting us know that, because there's 100 other people that are going,
Yeah,
hey,
but
those guys, you get what I'm saying? So
I
you
understand
have to
that
make sure,
totally.
if you got your next generation coming up with the grandchildren, and I have respect for what you're doing, it's just that, you got to get everybody on top of their game, because everybody else wants to do the same thing, and if it looks like it's not going on, that defeats the purpose of what we're trying to do here. So we're working with you, you got to work with us, and everybody
Well,
else.
I have all the
No,
time.
and I
It's
appreciate-
just one instance.
I appreciate you coming down here.
Yes.
It means a lot that
Yeah,
you
and
came
that's,
down.
that's what I wanted to ask.
Yeah.
If it's a problem that I don't do the back of the blind, well,
I-
let me know, and I will make sure the back of the
Personally,
blind is grass.
I think you should take the effort to do the best that you possibly can to demonstrate the fact that you're making the best effort to hunt those blinds. Because you remember, everybody else is watching what you're doing here. Everybody's watching what you're
Yeah,
doing, not
well-
just this board. The waterway has eyes. We get calls all day, almost every day, about somebody doing something, whether it's hunting related or not hunting related. So everybody's watching. So you'll have a guy who's been on a waiting list for 10 years
Oh,
going
yeah.
nowhere. You know what I mean? So if you're using it and you're doing it, make sure that you're following the regulations. Otherwise, this is what occurs.
Just document it. Just get like Ed said, get a shot of the
Well,
spread
that's
out.
what I said. If
Yeah.
I had remembered to call it in, it
Yeah.
wouldn't have been a problem, because in the beginning of the year, everything was grass and perfect. First couple of storms, and I will have
Okay.
to monitor my grandchildren
There you
Well, that's
go.
part of
a
the
lot
learning-
better,
part of the
because
There you
learning
go.
process.
they put the grass on the top of the blind, and they didn't think they had to, and I wasn't paying attention. I was doing the left side and the front, and I wasn't paying attention.
Right.
And they never stapled the grass down, and
Right,
they
so-
thought it was fine.
So we all got a wake-up call here.
Yeah, I did get a big wake-up
Right.
call on,
Well, we appreciate you coming in
Yeah.
and explaining so that we can make good decisions, And then this way, moving forward, people are gonna watch this on TV, and hopefully they're a hunter, well, I'll do it this way, no, maybe I should do it this way. A little bit of education on how best to grass your blind and keep the grass on it.
well, like I said, if I had called in, if I'd remembered to
Yeah.
call in, I was just in a hurry to get down there.
I understand.
I think we're good here at this point. You good,
Yeah.
gentlemen?
Yeah,
All
okay.
right. Thanks for coming down.
Yeah,
Okay.
Thank you.
yes.
All right, so
Keep
same
it.
thing, yeah. On both of them.
Joseph QZ is the next one. Number 107,
Joseph Marcucci. Marcucci,
So,
number 107.
107, so line wasn't grass, no contact.
Shakira, you need to turn on your,
I think you're muted.
You muted?
No,
Now we got you.
That's better.
So line wasn't grass, no contact made, visual inspection on December 31st, both the registered line holder on the phone explained the process. He was going to respond, he still hasn't responded as of last meeting, but he did respond. The email was left, he didn't actually, the email didn't send, but he has since sent pictures. And, the email that was supposed to send, and it was dated for March 26th.
He sent an email and it just like was in his outbox, like he didn't have service or something, and it never came through.
Okay.
But he showed us that he did try to send the email. He thought that we got the email, but
okay.
we didn't get it because of a cellular
What do you
service
think,
issue.
Joseph?
I say, keep it. It was a technical
Yeah.
issue that, he had no control over. So.
But
Okay.
moving forward, we should red flag these.
Yeah,
he
red
didn't-
flag, it's first offense.
Yep.
Okay. And then you have,
Matt.
Russell Skiers?
yes, permit 19.
So, location federally called for visual inspection, but it was sent along with photos, he treated as he recommended for, BCD World, on his personal cell phone while BCD World was on vacation. returned, he never received the message, so after speaking with Russell, I told him it was protocol to call out off his own for the inspection, so that I can assign an officer to check, and so that there won't be any confusion and it doesn't occur in the future. So he did also, send in his photos and everything, and he had no other violations prior to this.
So we got all the documentation we need then.
Yeah.
Okay, Matthew?
Yeah, let me keep it.
Okay,
Okay.
keep it. Flag it. That's it, right?
That's a wrap.
Okay, Shakira,
Thank you, Shakira.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
take care. Okay. That concludes the waterfowl hunting issues. Let's move on to the general permit applications for determination. We got Wilmington Savings Fund Society at 12 Marlin Road, East Quogue. Anybody here representing that? You're representing this, Kevin? All right, what's going on? Is the owner right, Sal?
Yes, how are you guys? The Falcons start. I'm just gonna basically, we purchased the home at foreclosure, and it was pretty dilapidated. And in the back, the bulkhead, there was no fill in the bulkhead between the bulkhead and the actual land. So to secure the property, we started putting some backfill in, and then that's when we got a call. And then since then, people have been dumping additional stuff on the property prior to us securing it. That's all I'm looking for, is a permit to
Right.
secure the premise.
See, just like I was telling the other gentleman, it's like the waterway has eyes.
Yeah. I was
So-
just trying to make it, because it was.
I understand,
I know, I was
but
like-
the reality is that everybody's watching everything, and they're sending SOS complaints, they're making phone calls to the trustees, they're calling Marine Patrol, police, code enforcement. You know,
Everybody shut up.
everybody's watching, right? Everybody's watching, and it's like, people, you know, they,
Is that concrete?
That was, may I see the picture?
Is that like,
No, that's not, that's just, may I see it now?
yeah, I guess it's just like very loamy.
No, it's completely, see, this is how we, yeah, it's not concrete for sure, it's just, I don't know what it is, but it's not concrete.
Now, what's the plan, where's the, I just have, all this cover sheet says is about backfilling the existing bulkhead. Do you have, James, what the plan is? Do you have what the plan is for this?
So we have a permit, we just received a permit to, we're gonna put a, well, we're gonna raise the home, and then we're gonna, build a new home on it. So, that was approved.
Right, but what about on the,
On the bulkhead side?
yeah, do you have that, James?
Well, I just wanna backfill it and replace what was there.
What?
You guys got a violation for backfilling, right, with no permit,
Right.
so that's what they're in for. 'cause-
I get that, but I'm just wondering what the rest of the plan is here. Do we have a permit for the rest of this plan? Not this one, but for this property.
Well, basically, did anybody previously put in
is this
for the
thing,
actual
was this a
bulkhead
rubber
itself?
hammer job, or was this?
Yeah, in other words, what else is going on here with this? I mean, I
So-
see there was a violation for the backfill, but what I'm getting at is, what's the rest of the plan for this? So while he's here, we can talk about this.
For the bulkhead, I just wanna repair it, make it proper, and put a new deck, make it 100%, because we're building a house, so.
Yeah, because all this cover sheet says is backfill
Well, at the
bulkhead.
time, that's all I was trying to do before we.
No, I understand, but
No,
what,
but where is the original
where's the permit that, for
this
that bulkhead?
For the bulkhead.
You don't see one?
Oh, I didn't.
I don't have one.
Well, who put it in?
Not us.
Can we,
So the prior owner put it
So
in.
we bought it from the bank, and the whole inside was, we
Right.
gotta stop work
You're gonna
order.
have to foil, and you're
Yeah.
gonna have to find out if there is an existing permit for this bulkhead. Otherwise, we're gonna have a whole nother bunch of
Issues.
permitting
Yeah.
processes
yeah,
that we have to
because
go
we can't,
through.
yeah, because this is just for the backfill, so
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's,
that's all I wanted to do.
We can't even approve the backfill until we find out whether the bulkhead was actually, a permit was pulled for it via the state, via the town,
Right, okay.
so we need a little bit more backstory in order to approve
Yeah.
you backfilling it.
Correct, okay.
right, so let's get, we don't have that information, and this is,
And once we get through that, then we're gonna need, you know, the backfill and what's gonna be in that 10-foot area.
Right.
A
Right.
site
What you
plan.
can backfill it, whether you're gonna
Yeah,
have to
it's
have,
clean
you know,
mate-
like
is it clean material?
species,
Buffer, yeah.
buffer.
Yeah,
The whole
the
9
standard
yards, so-
stuff, right.
I know you just wanna push some dirt over it and call it a wrap, but it ain't gonna be that smooth.
Well, you know what, Kevin knows what to do,
Yeah, we'll get it
right?
squared
So
away.
if you can, what we're gonna do is we'll pop this onto the hold. And we'll put this on hold. And,
Yeah, well, I'll
Come
foil
back.
that today.
Right.
Start there, and then,
See if anything's on the deed, see, you know,
Right.
go from there,
yeah, come back,
start jumping the hoops.
okay.
all right?
Sounds good.
Put that on hold, get that stuff, we'll take a look at our stuff as well. And then,
I'll foil it for you guys also, and then I'll also do my other job.
Yep.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
thank you.
Oh, is Shakira gonna be reaching out to the people with the NOV issues, or is that up to each of us?
No, that's.
They'll do it.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah,
Ed?
yes. 40 Ocean View Drive LLC, 40 Ocean View Drive, Shinnecock Hills. Lilly Construction Corporation.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
Good. Yeah, we'll watch the pictures here. If you want to see them. Okay, that's 40 Ocean Drive.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Want to get trying to get a permit for revetment at the bluff, bottom of the stairs at 40 Ocean View Drive.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
What, you're asking to put more stone in there below that, so?
Yeah, well, actually, the neighboring properties, there's stone going through like 3 properties, and I just want to continue it from the
There to the
property that's
return.
to the right to the stone over there. I've got photographs.
The one where the new beach access stairs are, where they zigzag back and forth, that's an unprotected bluff front next to a bulkhead and 2 easterly rock revetments, which we have permitted.
So you're taking the hit because you don't have anything to put in?
Yeah,
And then, and
yeah, we
to
don't
the
want it to
return
wash
is all the
out the
property?
stairs. I'm sorry?
To the return is all the contiguous same property, or is,
No, it's just 40 Ocean View is one property, and then there's, I guess, 42 Ocean View, and then the next property is, it's like a circle, it's another named street, but you
Yeah.
access it from the same point, and then they have stairs that come
Yeah.
down. So all of those properties have,
So you just wanna
Yeah.
make it
Yeah.
consistent?
yes, yeah, we have put down, doesn't wash away, because right now it's just,
It's all undermined.
yeah, it's gonna start to undermine, so we wanted to put that revetment there, and then, you know, put sand and then reseed it with the proper.
Yeah, the 2 properties
grass.
to the east was Fabrica's property, there was a bulkhead there. They removed the bulkhead and we allowed them to put the first rock revetment. And then the property just
Nice.
west of that, which abuts yours, we permitted that, you know, stone revetment into the bluff so that the bluff literally wouldn't wash away.
Yes.
You're the only unprotected in that, those 4
And-
pieces of property.
Yes, and we'd like to
Substantial
protect that
erosion over the winter time.
And keep it consistent with every, you know, all
is there
the
a
other properties.
vegetation, do you have a vegetation plan?
I did have,
Not on the
I don't have
application.
it on me though, but I do have, I do have a plan. I mean, this was just, you know, I had an engineer draw this up. This I had just drawn up from, Suffolk Environmental, so it's just to show you the plan on that. And,
I mean,
I had an architect draw up what we were gonna put on there, you know, but we're gonna put whatever the, you know, species of
Yeah,
that holds,
seagrass that has to go
holds
there.
the best, yeah.
Yeah.
Cape
vegetation.
American beach
Is there
grass.
a reason we don't do crisscross fencing on something like that until it holds?
It'll just wash out with the storms.
No, I mean above the rocks.
It's
Like
too
to
steep.
hold it,
It's too steep.
Yeah, it's very
It's
steep.
almost completely, in this spot, it's almost completely vertical now, because it's eaten away so much.
Well, that's what I mean though, is like, is the
There,
fencing
there
enough?
there is fencing there on that one little spot, but I mean, that's minimal.
But is there a way to put the fencing in till the seagrass actually takes, so you're holding it, so it's not like a landslide, or is it, or does it do anything?
It really, I mean, if you put the grass and you water it, it'll grow in one season.
Yeah,
I mean, the next door neighbor's property originally looked like his, and looked like, you know, they put the rocks there and stabilized the toe of it, and everything grew back. So, I mean, it works pretty quickly.
It can work.
yeah. That needs to be on the plan though, correct? His
Yes,
planting?
yeah, some kind of plantings that
Definitely.
you're gonna use,
Another
and,
plan.
yes.
Is these engineered plans, or the architect, them, they stamp?
I have this, I have it up. It's in here.
There it is, okay. That potential boulders we expected.
Yeah, the specs,
want it all
it's,
to-
it's,
You want it all to match.
100 tons of 12 to 18-inch boulders. They would be similar to what the native rocks are.
Same rounded edges?
Yes, not like the ones to this, to the
And we're gonna
east.
use the same company that did those over there.
Okay.
We had used, First Coastal, and they used, Wilson Docks.
Yeah, Wilson Docks,
yeah.
yeah.
So they did all the work on the,
Yeah.
you know. on
Along
the,
that stretch.
yeah, So we're gonna use the same, materials and.
We
same
would
company.
need similar covenants and drawn up for the.
Sand nourishment.
Because the properties, each one of the properties along here, because of the Shinnecock Beach Road, which is a 50-foot right-of-way easement that the trustees own from the high water mark landward.
Yeah.
So it encompasses all the project. So, you know, we're having all the homeowners sign on to this agreement that if their rock structure ever creates a total loss of beach or a substantial loss of beach, that they would need to put the beach back in front of their properties. Each one of the properties along this whole entire stretch basically from Fort Pond all the way to Crab Road, which is the western part of the Shinnecock Beach Road, each one of the homeowners they sign covenants like this.
Okay,
So
so
what-
we have to sign it.
Yeah, we just had 2 covenants drafted for 2 other applications that we have before us. So we'll have the same.
Would you email me that, like the?
Yeah, you get a.
I'll draft it, and
Draft it.
it'll be forwarded to
Yeah.
you for your attorney to
And-
supply some
Ye-
information that needs
Yes,
to be attached.
yep, and you have your email and everything here, so we can get in touch with you. Yep,
Yes, LaBoy Contracting.
yep,
Corp.
yeah. And are you the?
I'm the contractor.
You're the contractor, so.
Jeff Allen is the property owner.
So it would come from Mr. Allen and his attorney.
Yes, okay.
Correct, Jeff?
Whatever
Yeah.
whatever you send me, I'm gonna,
Okay, yeah.
It's gonna
Email him
be, it's gonna
and
be
then-
filed with the county, and it will run with the land, so successive owners will also be bound by it.
okay.
It ensures that public passing way will forever be there. That's-
Maintained, yeah.
Maintained.
Yep.
So for right now, we're gonna put this on hold until we get that information. And the plan is similar, almost identical to the project. I don't know if you
And
guys
you'll
seen it.
you'll draft in there what I need
Yeah.
to put in the plan to
They
draw
saw this
out?
already, right?
Yeah, we got
To
it.
have
So
a,
Yeah.
I guess,
You'll need to speak with James, he'll fill in what you need. What my document will just be a promise to replenish the
Oh,
sand
okay.
should erosion happen
Okay.
because of the revetment.
okay.
Yeah. So,
And then I'll have, I guess, a landscape architect draw up,
yes.
It's a native
Yep.
vegetation plan.
Yeah,
vegetation.
yeah, and stamp it. Stamp plans are better. Okay?
Do you have a permit for the stairs?
Yes.
James, are you gonna have an amended cover sheet on this?
We're gonna need it.
Yeah, a
All right, so
permit
let me
from
have-
our
let me have the
board,
amended cover
or-
sheet so I can then do the renourishment.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, look at it, James, make sure.
Joseph, are we having an Agawam discussion this morning?
No, that's fine.
We're doing that on the 20th, because I see Councilman Pell is here, so I don't know. Do you want to come up and speak to the board for a minute on this Agawam, or you want to wait?
No, that's, go ahead.
It looks like he's pushed it off till the,
He's here for both.
are you here for Bullhead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, call.
Claire was here.
So we're having a discussion on the
All right.
20th for,
Yes.
so the discussion on Agawam's pushed to the 20th, so I don't want you to, I mean, if you want to address the board with anything, you're here. If not, I don't want you to spend your time. I know you're busy.
He was here for both.
Councilman Pell, why don't you sit down?
Look, he's part of his candy.
You bribing us?
Man,
Thanks, Bill. Good morning.
that's on camera.
Well, you need to,
We don't have Diane Kaufman anymore.
I know, so the reality is,
We just met the new guy.
ex-trustee Pell, current
Thank you.
Councilman Pell knows sometimes when you go long without lunch, you need a little snack.
James, we're gonna hold this until we get the other information, all right? Everything, yep.
So we're working collaboratively. You've been working on a lot of things with the board, obviously, from your prior tenure.
Kill
We're
us with
continuing
sweetness.
on.
Here,
As
Joe.
you're aware, these projects take, multi-generations to get them done. So we've been working on Agawam together for, I can't even tell you how many years.
Yeah.
And then it's finally starting to,
Take shape.
Yes.
Come together.
this wouldn't hurt my feelings to have an extra one, but,
Leave with Chip.
But,
Yeah, right. There we go.
yeah, so we're gonna, we have a good collaboration going on with the mayor of Southampton Village and the folks from the Agawam
Get James.
Conservancy. On Jay, we
He
can't
needs
forget
the
Jay.
candy.
So we didn't, this way, we want you to be included in
So
it.
it's gonna be on the 20th?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be on the 20th, but this way, I know you worked on this for a long time, and now you're sitting on the other board, and I think that, good collaboration is required.
The tax line's getting closer.
Tax line's getting closer, I think that makes sense.
Just hope we all live long enough to see it happen here.
It's
Yeah.
gonna happen very
You're still
shortly.
buying green bananas, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
It'll happen soon. And listen, transparency and financial stability for protecting natural resources and public access is never a bad thing. It's a good thing for everybody. So, but I appreciate you coming in. Is there anything else on your mind?
Did you wanna,
I thought it was gonna be today.
oh, no, it's next meeting.
Okay, so this way, we had a little
I don't know if I'm gonna
preemptive.
bring candy next month.
You need bagels?
Did you have anything on Bullhead you wanted to go over?
No.
Because it's on now. You good?
The Jim Walker.
Okay.
We'll deal with it. We appreciate your being a liaison to the trustees. I
Yeah.
appreciate
Same
you
here.
making the time.
Thank
You
you,
need me,
Bill.
you know where to find me.
Yes,
Thank
yes,
you.
yes.
Well,
Fine.
Thank you you gonna take this with you, Billy?
You can leave it there.
No, you can have it for later.
All right.
Thank you.
We're all gonna crash
My-
around
my-
executive
My
session.
desk, my desk will be so happy.
He's lost now that Diane Carpenter retired.
Yeah.
I can't even tell my wife I behaved myself today with the,
You're on film, Scott.
no, public record here.
All right.
Now, Eddie, you got
Yeah, Asim Rasad, 9 Shawnee Street, Hampton Bays, shoreline bulkheading.
and here is Shoreline
Good morning,
Bulkhead.
trustees.
Good morning.
Chris,
Very jealous
Kristen.
about the candy right now.
Have some candy.
Just sitting there.
Take a candy. Make
No,
believe
it's your
it-
guys' lunch.
it's trick or treat. Make believe it's Halloween, have some candy.
so
Okay,
would you like to go over the application here?
sure. I'd love to. So at this particular location of 9 Shawnee Street, we're going to be removing the existing bulkhead that's dilapidated, and we're going to replace with navy wall. Same elevation, no height increase, with graded capping. And then we're proposing a 4x70 fixed pier with graded decking, a 3x12 aluminum ramp, 6x20 floating dock,
Okay.
and a water lift.
Yeah, for the jet ski?
For the jet ski.
Yep, yeah, which we cleared up and got all your
Yes, I'm sorry I
information.
missed your call, but
Yes.
I'm glad we got that worked out.
Yes,
Because I
yep.
sent them the application, and then I said, no, don't fill it out.
Yeah. No. Do we-
And on the buffer, I apologize, I noticed that it says 10-foot wide vegetated buffer. However, they have stones there already, so we figured that we would just keep it the way that it was, but I can add it to the plan, should you request it.
Yeah, because, I mean, that's, It all, I mean, it's not a high bulkhead, so it's gonna overwash there, so,
Yes.
you know.
But the
what-
graded decking will help too.
Yeah.
With that.
Some native vegetation would help too.
Yeah.
It'll be planted in the stone though, so it holds.
Sure, it's a
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
discussion
think
if,
there's any
if,
nothing wrong with stone.
Are we good with that? The intermixing of, 'cause
Yeah.
we looked at some areas, it depends on the species, because I think James and I looked at some area where it was a lower sill
That was a
bulkhead.
low sill bulk.
And that's a bit of a
Cape
problem.
American beach grass would work fine here, and it would take a root and take roots and it would
And
hold.
if it does
some of the
overwash,
moisture.
you might have a chance of holding
Right.
it until the roots really dig in.
okay.
Yeah,
So
I just-
American beach grass is a
yes.
recommendation that you won't add it to the plans,
Right, I
along
think-
with the stone.
I think
And
it's,
the
im-
cover sheet.
You got it.
right, I just think it's important to note that, you know, the intermixing works on the regular, but not on the low sill, right, James? And that's important, that way we don't make confusion here.
The one that's there now isn't navy, or is it navy, the existing?
No, it's just, here,
It's,
it's an old 1950s
yeah, it's an
bulkhead.
old, I believe, chop whale.
Yeah, wow. That needs to be done.
It not, yeah, especially with the wave energy over in that area. That's why we required the navy wall. Yeah, there it is.
Okay.
And they got the water depth in?
Yes.
Yeah, looks good.
Yes, the floating dock sits in the water depth
Looks
that
perfect.
you require.
Yep. Looks perfect.
All right.
It's on my thumbs up.
Yep, good, good.
Okay.
Yeah, fits the book.
And I do have some questions about the PBR, and I'm glad that you brought it up, because future
PRBs.
client, the PRBs, yes.
Councilman Rivett?
Yeah, I think it'd be great, it's a great time, that's why I just,
He asked if he could add it to the
Yeah.
plan, and I'm like, oh, that's a new one that I have to
Not
throw
right
together.
yet.
Well,
Not right
yeah.
now,
But I
because it's
think-
in the phase, it's not even
Yeah.
approved at this point.
But I think that it's a much bigger conversation.
Yes.
Because it's not, you have to have the proper groundwater flow in the area that's gonna
That's
do anything,
gonna-
otherwise you may just create more of an issue
Of
than
an
a
issue
solution.
than,
So you
right.
can't just apply it to, you can't, well,
That's
take
what I
this
said, but-
medication, it works for everything.
Right.
I don't
but
think
we
it
need,
does.
it needs to be a dialogue that I think in the future, I think everybody in this room wants to see beneficial application
Right,
of a
absolutely.
bulkhead.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but normally they would do a test well and see the groundwater.
Of how the flow-
is,
Mhm.
and then the contents of that flow, if there's nitrogen, phosphorus.
And if
whatever.
that's gonna, right.
And if it's, if the flow rate is of such and it has, you know, nutrients in it, it would be a good
It would
candidate.
be beneficial for
Yes,
the
but if
area.
it doesn't, then it could, you know, have.
It could do
Go the
damage.
other way.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
yeah, so,
gotta, yeah, you gotta really take a hard look at it. It's not like a silver bullet type of thing.
Exactly.
And
I mean,
that's what
I
happens here.
mean, Cornell and Ron Paulson was the person that brought the project to us in a
Okay.
few of his other areas to ask for us to back CPF funding, because some of these projects, they're applying for funding in areas that they find the groundwater is, you know, able
Yeah,
and the project's worthy of it, so.
okay.
So,
Well, we'll
It's a-
cross that bridge when we
yes.
get there,
It's
right?
more complex than it appears.
Yeah, it really is.
Well,
All
I
right.
thank you.
Yep,
See you in a few minutes.
Pending the plans and the
yes,
worksheet.
yes.
Thank you, trustees.
All right,
Thank
take
you.
care.
All right. Cold Mountain.
Cold Mountain LLC, 16 Sandringham Lane.
Hello there.
Hi, good morning.
And consultants.
So this is a dock. We've modeled it after a similar dock a couple properties down, or a few properties down to the
Yeah.
west.
Yeah,
Same dimensions, same approximate water depth. So it's just a catwalk that goes down to a 6x4 drop platform at the end. There's not a whole lot of water there. We're avoiding the wheelgrass bed.
Ms. Sabria, that was the next question.
Yeah, so if you look at this plan, the site plan,
Yeah, we went there, yes.
I was able to scale that off of the New York State benthic habitat data maps.
Okay,
So,
That's the eelgrass line there.
Yeah, so that's the eelgrass down there.
So do that on the present. Green is the eelgrass. So the dock would be almost identical to the property, or 3 properties to the west, 4
Yeah, it's
properties?
22 Ocean View
Yes.
Drive.
Yeah,
There was a permit issued just 2020.
yep,
So we modeled the dimensions after that, so that it would be similar to what you'd previously approved. I revised the plans a little bit, I had to shift it 1 foot out because you wanted 12 feet
yes,
between the steps,
yep.
the beach, I'm sorry, the bluff steps. So there's a 12-foot separation
Yep.
there.
For machinery to go up and down the beach if there's ever
Right.
projects need to be done, and stuff like that, yeah, which is consistent with all the other, docks that we've permitted along the stretch.
Just
Well,
in-
and then also people walking the beach, so they don't
Yeah.
have to jump over
Right.
somebody's dock.
And that
Mhm.
12
No, they
feet
gotta have
should,
that pass
that
only
should be
pass.
dry, I think,
Yeah.
pretty much all of the time.
Yeah,
So dog walkers or pedestrians can
So,
walk
and
the
this,
beach there.
this isn't a floater at the end, right?
no,
No, it's just
Yeah,
a step down, so that you're a little closer to the water. And that's just a foot lower than the rest of the
the
catwalk.
dock at the old green lawn, as we would know locally, is identical to this, and it's 4 or 5 properties to, or 6 properties to the
Yeah.
west.
Yeah.
That one's permitted?
Yes.
Yeah,
Got consistency.
And we went through back and forth with that one.
yeah, you issued this in 2020, so I pulled a copy of their permit, so I could basically copy it,
Yep,
so we could be consistent.
And you're proposing a rock revetment, this one?
That is part of another application that I think you've already looked at.
yeah, that's in the, I separated them out.
Right,
Because
so I put the drawings
I might have the
together.
wrong one up then.
I included, my drawing shows the proposed rock revetment, basically because the DEC insisted that we merge the 2 applications. They won't review 2 separate applications, so it's all on one drawing.
Okay,
But First Coastal's been handling the
Yeah.
rock revetment application. So,
Well, on your, you have both on your cover
I have,
sheet, so-
I can take that
Or
off, whatever,
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, if you gotta be hand in hand with the DEC on the same application, it's.
well, normally, we just ask for whatever we're reviewing on the cover sheet, so when the bay constables or harbor patrol or trustee of the area would go down and do the inspection, we would know specifically what we're looking at. We didn't want other stuff to be put in.
Yeah, if you're gonna
I
separate.
can take that off, that's no
It
problem.
becomes more complicated, and
Okay.
we're
I was
reviewing
trying-
that as a separate
Okay.
application with a covenant on.
Yeah, do you want her to take it off the plans as well? Or-
Well, I mean, it could be, I mean, it's on the plans, but I don't want it on the cover sheet, so when we send our new dock inspector down there, that he understands what he's looking at. And I want it probably should be left on the plans so that we can see the separation of the dock, the rock toe, the rock revetment, and the public access in between the 2.
That's why I left it on the plans.
Yeah.
that's good.
I can take it off the cover sheet, that
Yeah.
way if you,
Right.
if this gets issued at a different time, then
Yeah.
the.
Yeah, the
rock
cover
revetment
sheets,
can go
yeah,
in.
because sometimes confusion gets created, and you don't want to have confusion.
I
No,
don't wanna
but,
confuse
but
anything.
leaving that on there, it's gonna be a structure there, so, and
Right.
we wanna make sure that that when we permit it, that there's 12 feet between the 2 structures,
Mhm.
not that there's an issue of moving forward. So we can use this as a reference in the other application, right, Joe?
Okay, so
All
I'll
right.
revise the cover sheet and
Yes.
get that to you
Yep,
right away.
okay. And does anybody else have any more questions?
We just need stamp plans for that.
Right.
It's consistent.
James, when you get the amended cover sheet, shoot it over to me, and I'll reckon to the sand agreement.
No, not for this one.
Not for this
It's just a
one.
dock.
This is the dock.
Never mind.
The sand agreement is another application for the
Okay,
same
that's right.
property.
Same property,
Yes.
we're gonna keep the
Right.
2
Yeah.
applications separate.
Yep.
Just like
Okay.
it's beautiful.
No problem.
I know.
Alright,
Leave it alone.
Trying to be proactive.
Yeah.
I try to be proactive too, try to put it all together, but that's,
Once it's out of there, it goes.
I know.
All right, next one. Shinnecock Bay. It's for the Army Corps of Engineers to do a dredging project in the intercoastal waterway on the south end of the Shinnecock Canal into Shinnecock Bay. The proposed maintenance dredge of LIW will, Long Island intercoastal waterway, move approximately 6,000 cubic yards of sand from the shoal adjacent to Shagron Marina to the depth of 6 feet below mean low water, plus 2 feet allowable over depth. Basically, they're gonna be dredging it to 8 feet, allowing for, vessels to transient that area. It's the intercoastal waterway, and it's a very important, waterway for the town and the intercoastal and everybody, so to access Shinnecock Bay and the Atlantic Ocean. The dredge material will be placed on Exhibit A, which is the Trustee right-of-way beach that is east of Shagwam, or Exhibit B, which is further down on Shinnecock Beach Road. Maintenance dredge of the channel is usually accomplished by a pipeline dredge, cutter head, or similar. So basically, we're allowing the Army Corps to dredge, well, you got all of it up there. And we're going to get a beach nourishment project out of the whole entire project.
Right. And here, we've been asking them to do this for years.
Yeah, so it's the shoal that's in front of what was Jackson's,
Yeah.
by the buoy cut, and they're thrown in front of the trap
It's-
sites.
Yes.
It's the intercoastal, it's the channel itself,
No.
nothing outside of the channel. So it's just opening up the
Go
order.
for it. There's gonna be a lot of happy sport fishes
Yeah,
if
they've
that
been
goes through.
asking for it for
Well,
years.
as of this spring, it's really shoaled
Shoaled up.
up. Yeah. I mean, it's less than 3 feet on a lunar tide, so it's a problem.
Unfortunately, it will not happen until after the season because of considerations
Yep.
for, fish and wildlife.
Yeah.
It will not happen until after the season, but it's going to happen.
I think that's gonna be paired with several other dredging projects in our.
It's gonna be paired with a holistic, as you would say,
Yeah.
set of projects throughout the entire intercoastal channel system throughout the town and even up and through the Quad Canal in areas where they have done their surveying and they have, blocked arteries. The soil sampling has already been done, and now we're on our way here. So we are granting them the permission to do this on our bay. We certainly will waive any fees on this.
Yeah.
And obviously,
Yes,
major
sir.
public benefit.
Yep.
And we've been working on this for years, and it's good that it's finally coming to fruition.
Well, the A area where the material is gonna go is, the town has purchased that property with CPF funds, so we're basically putting a nice sandy beach in front of it for the public.
And they purchased us the end of it, the other part of it, we own.
Yeah.
So they've only got that part to the east, the other side of it is
Yep.
ours.
Yep. All right.
Have at it.
Yep.
All right.
So we'll
Move
put
that
that on
on.
for Rezo for this afternoon,
Yep.
right? And then we'll just,
Next meeting.
I think this meeting, right? For today.
Oh, it is?
Yeah,
All right. Well,
yeah,
then
we
we're
made
good
sure it
then.
was on for today, this way we
All right.
expedite that, obviously, for public benefit.
Yep. All right. That's it for me.
Brian Mims, 56 Noyak, Harbor Creek, Harbor Road, Noyak.
Permit guy is
Somebody?
not here, so we're
And that guy is on hold.
gonna put him on hold.
Yeah, I
Put
mean,
him on hold. We've said if you've got questions that need to be spoken to and he's not here,
not hold, he's not here.
hold. Green Harbor?
Yeah. It's gonna be 12 Green Street, Village of Sag Harbor.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Dana Cuneo from Beeline Associates, here on behalf of Green Harbor and Tom Johan. So I guess essentially a permit was issued for this dock in 2020. It was built, and they're trying to get their certificate of compliance. The float that was installed is slightly larger than the originally approved float. So I think that's where we're at right now.
How large is it?
The problem with it was the proximity to the property line.
I
The
don't know.
angle of it is too close to the property line.
I don't know if this is helpful too, but Saska Surveying had provided an overlay of what was approved versus what was built. So I don't know if that's helpful for you guys to take a look at.
Yeah, this is,
Yeah, 'cause I didn't see a permit for this originally.
Okay.
I didn't see an original pole permit for this.
that's only
I have a couple more copies.
3.1 feet.
Yeah.
That's not gonna work.
No, this was the, was there actually a permit pulled for this? Cause I didn't,
Yes,
it
I have
wasn't
a-
on the,
I have a copy.
2022.
So this is the original permit, which
Can I see that?
Sure.
Is this the same as this?
Do we have the drawings for the original permit, James?
That came from, I believe it was East End Land Planning. They did the original permit for this project, which is that the brown colored dock that you see in that overlay was the approved structure.
You have to make it an L instead of a T, it looks like, or something. You gotta get that.
Yes, so I think maybe to get better depth,
Yeah,
maybe
you
we
need-
relocate the ramp and make an L-shaped
Yeah,
float.
because-
It's
I
too
think-
close to the other property.
Yeah, you gotta get,
Yeah.
you get that 10 feet. You can't have 3 feet.
And that was,
But the
the-
approved structure is much closer than it is actually right now.
Shouldn't be. Something's not right.
I don't see the, I
Yeah,
don't see the approved permit in this whole
Who
packet.
approved that? I don't see that working out.
I mean, if you said.
That's a Scrivener's, there's some type of an error there, because that's not,
This was not, I mean, I didn't even see it on the
I don't know if this is helpful
GIF.
at all. This was a renewal that was
Let me see.
issued for it as well. So
I
the
mean,
trustee at the
this
time
is
was
the
Ann
original-
Welker.
This is one that's stamped as of 2018, surveyed, the 5th, 2018, but what I don't understand is I don't see a dock.
A
on the
floating
GI.
dock.
I don't see any dock.
yeah, we gotta see what
There's
plans.
no
this are.
dock prior to 2022 on
Yes.
GIS.
This looks like it was the original plan.
So there,
Yeah.
yeah, that is the original plan,
So
right?
where
That's East End Land Planning. So
I don't see, where's the floating dock?
This says survey, yeah, so there's, the original plan was followed protocol. The 2008 that you have right here is, if you look at it, it's well,
this is, I think, the proposed structure. This wasn't actually constructed, I believe.
no.
That floating dock's not permitted.
This is an old, so there were, I came in late to the game on this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
There were a few dock structures that went out, actually, a different one to DEC went out to you guys, and it kind of like, we all
It
wrapped it
ended
into.
up being a mess, yeah.
Right, it was all over the place, but, so this one, I don't think was, the approved one. This was one of the iterations that was done. This one,
But
I
that
think
one,
that James.
that one right there is one that we actually would have accepted because of the 10-foot buffer between the neighboring property. So somewhere along the line, somebody just decided to throw it into the right. To put the hook in it, and it's too close to the other property line, so it's unacceptable, full stop. It can't be amended, it can't be changed, you have plenty of room to not be within the other person, 10 foot of the other person's property line.
But the catwalk was built to what was previously
Exactly.
approved.
The catwalk is fine, the problem you
Right.
have is your floater and your ramp.
This yours?
Yes, thank you.
It should be reversed. The ramp and float should be on the other side of the dock.
Show Ed the
Yeah, this
original
is-
one. Can I see this?
Sure. Oh, sorry,
And
that's,
this is the
yours.
original.
That's yours.
Yeah, that's mine.
This is.
Because I didn't see it on GIS. At 2022.
You can modify this to put, like, he said, put the ramp and the float on the other side.
Right.
Yeah.
Provided you got the water depth.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at the hydro here.
This is an existing survey today. So you can see that it does have the water depths on it too.
Go straight off the end.
Wait, hold on a second here. Where's the,
You got a pier line in there of 65 feet.
where's the water depths? I don't see the water.
Free.
No, but you look where the floating dock is.
No, I know.
So
The floating
th-
dock's not
That's
even-
not in there, that's
Yeah.
not, this whole thing's out of spec,
Yeah.
totally out of spec. You don't have the water depths.
Well, the the western side of the float hits that 2.5, but
It's supposed to be the, this whole thing is,
This whole thing was
this whole
thrown
thing's
in
a
there.
back to the drawing board. This whole thing is back to
Yeah,
the
this
drawing
is-
board. You got your work cut out for you here. This is
Okay.
not, this is not gonna be,
Yeah.
this is,
Unfortunately,
But even though it was-
the original one that was approved,
right,
or that, that original 2018 application
right.
would have worked. And then somebody went haywire and decided to go off to the right, and then now you got a mess that you've got to clean up.
but I think you're capable.
Yeah.
But we can't accept it with the, between
Okay.
the depth and
Yeah.
the proximity to the other property line, it's kind of a dead horse.
We have the technology, we can rebuild it. We just have to
Right.
figure out what you can do here and get it conforming to Blue Book regulations,
There's a
right?
65-foot pier line in there, and then there's 2.5 feet of water for a floating dock. So you need those two components to work with.
Right.
And 10
So
feet
65 feet?
is the pier line, yes.
Okay.
So you can't max that, and then there's not,
I mean, because right now the fixed dock, I think, is only 58 from mean high water.
The fixed
So
dock,
that-
and
so
then
that
you
should
add
be
the
okay.
float and the ramp,
Right.
you
Right.
got 65 feet to
but,
work.
but the problem is you're not hitting good water depth, and then on the other side, you're not hitting the proper side yard, setbacks. You're way under. So the whole thing has got to be you need to go back to the drawing board,
I understand.
look at the Blue Book, speak to your clients.
Do you have a copy of the original one?
I do.
All right, so
Yeah.
I mean, like, work off
But
that.
that's what it was though, that the brown one that you're seeing on the overlay, you guys approved that. That's what, I mean, I think was the basis of the construction, and then, you know, I did happen to say we should go in for a bigger float, you know, go through the permitting process, because a 4x6 float there, that's really small
It is.
and unsafe if you're getting on a vessel. So I honestly.
But I just don't see the prior board accept it.
I don't,
That,
this is,
That
that
this
is definitely
brown
not.
overlay is what you think was the original, the little tiny float
Yeah,
there?
yeah.
I don't even
It's
remember this.
written in the copy that I gave you in the language of the permit. It says, like, I wrote down too.
Was it talked about in work session, or
at
was there
this.
actually
That's Scott,
I don't
that's.
know.
yeah,
this is-
it
It was-
sounds like
I
it was
know that,
like
but
the guy
this
who was
is
in
like-
work
yeah,
session says,
that's
oh,
what we
it's
didn't
approved,
approve.
but
That's
it's.
9.8.
There's
Yeah.
no resolutions
So we'd have
and
to
there's
move
no.
over.
Yeah.
The permit itself said a 4x100 catwalk, 28 pilings, 3.5 by
this?
12 ramp, and a 4x6 float with 2 piles. So that's what was approved.
What does that give it again?
4x100 foot catwalk, 28 piles, 3.5 by 12 foot ramp, 4x6 float with 2 piles. So essentially, like when you see this, we're
Yeah, but the original one has a 4x6 float as well, and it's straight.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
the hook on it.
No, but I have a copy of the full permit in the office, and I can send it to you. It is this structure that was approved. I don't know.
Where's it? We have
Well, I
have the
don't-
plans. We have.
I think James just had it up there. Yeah.
Put it
Because
back
this right here has the like I said, it has the 4x6
You're
float.
gonna have to go to the
Yeah,
video,
So, what am I-
video of the work session meeting and see where it was discussed and see what was permitted. Because I mean, I was here when it was done allegedly, but I don't remember seeing that. A 4x6 float is something
Oh,
that
but
I
you know
would.
what? Actually, also, that dock looks
This is
south.
hers.
Does it look closer south?
It's way different than, yeah.
Okay.
That's why it made the,
Yes.
something's not right.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a whole different application than the one that I just, the 2018. The 2018 runs right 10-foot parallel with the property line, whereas that one you're showing is coming off the middle of the property. So somebody was playing musical docks here.
Okay. All right. So
You gotta get it to
essentially,
conform. You
Yeah,
can't sign off
we
on it.
gotta you just gotta get it locked in. It's gotta be 10 foot away and you need the water. Other than that, we'll
And
work with you.
65 feet.
And 65 foot
So
overall.
she's under that, or you're
Yeah,
not.
right
Yeah,
now
but
we're
by
at
the time
58.
you put a ramp, by the
so
time
if I
you
put a ramp and an
float in,
L-shaped float,
don't, yeah, but,
I might-
but how are you gonna do an L when you have
because maybe I can go in the other direction.
possibly the other
Yeah.
direction?
You
Yeah,
need to go
can.
back to your office,
Yeah.
sit and
Water
look at
depth.
this.
If they
look
go
at your
hook it the other way,
plans.
you're saying, if you hook it to the
South.
south,
Right.
if you hook it to the south and
Mm-hmm.
you got the depth, you might be in the clear and it would save everybody a lot of headache.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think
But
this is yours.
okay. Thank you. All right, so I guess my last question is that I think Tom Johan had gone in September or October of 2023 to try to fix this, and that didn't happen, but he said he paid a permit fee or an application fee. So I just wanted to, who would I follow up with on that? Because if that, I can apply that to the next, because that went nowhere, I guess, and if I can
Is it
apply
the
that.
same application? How long's this thing been around?
2018 is the first stamp plan that I saw in it.
Well, the 2020 is the permit, right? And then we renewed it one more time, I believe.
Okay.
yeah, but you're currently in violation right now.
Okay.
Because you had a inspection done, they failed it because it was completely wrong.
Okay.
So you're looking to modify the permit, then you need to submit a modification request to modify the permit that you all agree on. And then
It's almost like a brand-new application right here.
Okay.
It's
Well,
a
that's what
modifica-
I'm
it's a
saying.
modification.
Do I send in an additional application fee, because I believe he said that.
Modification.
I don't know what he sent, I'd have to look
Okay.
to see what he sent and when it was sent.
I can
It might
follow
have
up.
been a renewal
Mhm.
fee, I'm not
If
sure.
it's a renewal, you gotta, that's a renewal, but now you're modifying whatever it
Yeah,
is
but
that you did.
When
to-
was the renewal fee accepted and when was it renewed?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, there's
We're
a
not
whole.
sure.
Yeah, that
We
they
have to-
actually
we-
did a renewal.
We're not gonna solve that here.
It's been
When you're in
built.
violation, you have two options. You can build it to what you were approved on, or you can modify to change it to what you built.
Okay.
If it,
But
If it
but it
meets
has to
the standard,
pass
yeah.
before it. So
yes.
if you're,
Okay.
at this point, you gotta change it so it passes the board specs.
So you gotta modify it.
you
So
submit a
modify it.
modification.
Okay, so I'll submit a modification,
Yeah, and if it was
To
an
get into
Army Corps
compliance.
permit
Look
that
at
had
it.
been involved,
Yeah.
it would have been 15 feet off the extended property line. So, and I'm not gonna go with that permit, but that's a whole different, another
You get
issue.
back to your office,
Yes.
take a hard look at it, look at the Blue Book regulations, look at your water depths, and
Pier
do
line.
all the pier lines, and then play on your system and see what configuration's gonna work before you resubmit it.
okay, all right,
Okay.
appreciate it, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Have a great day.
Yep.
Southampton, I don't know, where we at? 180 Point Mecox Lane in Bridgehampton.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
So this dock is already constructed. They had a permit and they didn't build it exactly to specifications. So, and the property's actually changed hands since then. So we are transferring it to the new owner and applying to legalize what was built. The most obvious thing when you go to the property is the handrails. The original dock did not have handrails. And then when I went out to take pictures and do some measurements, I realized that the dimensions are slightly different as well. Not by much, it's like a foot here, a foot there.
The dimensions, that wasn't the problem. I did the inspection.
Right,
I just couldn't pass an inspection.
because it didn't match.
Because there was no handrails on the plan,
Right,
so.
right.
For all intents and purposes, I personally don't have a problem with the handrails.
Okay.
With the proximity with those bulrushes, because they're so thick right there, so I don't think it's gonna be a visible impairment to neighboring properties. And quite frankly, falling in the bulrushes is not a comfortable endeavor, so I'm fine with handrails there.
Okay.
Other than that, I was fine with the project, I just couldn't
Okay.
pass it because there was no handrails.
What's the design of the handrails?
They're just very simple, two
Two by-
bars,
2x4s.
one on
and
either
4x4s.
side.
So
I
you
have
have-
pictures on my phone.
Right, so you should have,
I
you
submitted-
got a modification, so we're looking at it now?
Yeah.
Yes, this is
Yeah.
a modification and.
So it's simple as it can be.
Yeah,
Right.
it's base,
It's
there's
obscured
one
by
on
all the-
either side,
Yeah,
and
but
there's.
we just wanna make sure it's not, some people will come in with,
But the bulrushes
Things
are
that are-
so thick there anyway that you wouldn't even, you're not gonna even gonna see the
Right.
handrails in season.
right, no, just that, like we talk about consistency and the minimalization of what we need in the wetland, and, you just wanna make sure that you're checking all those boxes.
Well, it has a ramp and a float,
Yes.
Yeah.
so there's handrails on the ramp,
Yes, there were always.
so.
Just gotta
This is,
modify.
this was
No.
replacing an old dock. It was supposed to be replaced in place,
In kind of place?
yeah. And
It's pretty much there.
it's pretty much what they did.
I wouldn't hang them up on anything but the handrails, and
Yeah.
I
Modified
didn't
permit.
even wanna do that, so we just.
Yeah.
Well, you-
It
yeah.
just barely peeks out beyond the phragmites. The phragmites are super thick there. And we barely get to enough water as it is, so
Okay.
it's
All right.
pretty
So you
minimal.
should be all set now.
Okay, good. Thank you.
So we're advancing that one.
Yeah,
correct?
yep.
You doing backfilling? 61 Island Road?
DKR.
You care? This is holdover from October of last year, right?
Yeah, we've been here for a while.
So, 'cause for my time, so.
Yeah, well, the whole point is, back before you, because I want you to be familiar with the property and the project, and as a new board member, get a chance to look at it and reflect on what was previously, not just permitted, but, by other agencies, but discussions with the board. So I just wanna kinda update you as to where we are right now.
Is this the one she wants to see the sunset on?
Yeah. This is the one where she wanted to see the sunset. So originally, she wanted the dock to the west, really, really long as possible next to the neighbor. That just got shot down, of course, which I told her would happen. Then we actually moved it to the center of the property, and the DEC was good with it, with stairs at the end, flip up aluminum stairs. They approved it, 0 questions asked. So did the Corps of Engineers, except they wanted it in the area where there's a path existing through the high marsh. Which I did, and they approved it, no problem. So I actually have a DEC permit, a Corps of Engineers permit, for basically the center of the property, going out. But the problem is it landed in only like a foot of water, a foot and a half of water, not even. But they approved it. So my idea was go back to the drawing board, see if I can get more water, see if I can get it towards the right, because there's actually a public trustee ramp there to.
Clam Road,
Right. And not only is there deeper water there, there's less sab bed in the area. So they should be able to get to skip the
So
whole
what are you shooting for that?
sunset
Are you
view.
really trying to shoot for that little, tiny little spit of deep?
Exactly. There's like a little deep water area that goes right through there, so I was gonna try to sort of dogleg it to get over there.
But then you're over the property line?
No, I'm not, actually. So if you bring
10
up
foot?
the
No, but I mean the
last-
10-foot property. of the
No.
No?
So I got to, so this is the one that was submitted, dated, should be 6/28/23. No, that's not it. But it's near, it's close to there. So there was a application cover that went in dated 7/18/23 with the last dated plan of 6/28/23, and the dock ends in 1.4 feet of water.
What is the dock length for the mean high water? This is a 100-foot pier line there.
No, it meets it.
It does?
Yeah, no, it meets it. And it meets it's quite a bit off of the 10-foot offset, actually. So I'd like to go with this. I don't know if the DEC is going to approve it, so what I would like to do is hold off, reapply to the DEC to modify the permit. If they go for it, come back before the board with the happy medium.
I'm okay with that. Yes.
The issue you guys were talking about was you went from 1.2 feet of water to 1.4.
It's no appreciable depth of water.
There's no appreciable water depth for stairs to the water.
Yeah,
So you can bring it back to the edge of the marsh essentially to give you access to the water. That was the whole conversation.
Yeah, this whole thing is
Yeah.
problematic.
Yeah, I mean.
Right, but it does get appreciable depth, so that was my argument. So look, it goes 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, it does appreciate. So if I brought it back 9.8 feet to the end of the 1.4, I'm still within reason. I still get to that depth, but it's 9.8 feet shorter.
I don't see these depths that's within 10 foot of the property line there.
Well, there is.
I mean, you need.
There are some depths within the 10-foot offset that were done.
Yeah, but
There-
not
and then there's-
appreciable.
And there, well, no.
You kind of flatlining there for quite a while.
No, 1.3, 1.3, but I get to 1.4.
Yeah, but that's
You're talking nothing.
I know, that's an inch.
That's.
You're going nowhere.
Okay, so this is what I'd like to do. Because there's sort of a gap between the depths taken at the offset point and the depths where I actually have the dock right now. I would like to, and since the survey is now 2 years old. And I technically have to submit a survey no less than 1 year old. I think we should redo the survey. And examine that area a little bit better.
You mean a bent, like a?
A hydro.
Oh, the hydrographic.
Yeah,
Oh, the
so
hydrographic.
redo a hydro.
Have the conditions changed on, I mean,
I don't know. I don't know. But, I would be able to get to, have a little more description in an area that sort of wasn't sound.
The gray area.
The gray area between the offset, which I have the depths for,
Yeah.
and between the 10 foot away from the offset, like I don't have the middle area, which I would like to get to. And the survey that you have on record is not less than 1 year old. So I'd like to actually have the survey done. There's another reason why. In my examination and in my research, there was the SAV study done by Ralph Tyner, actually one of my instructors at Rutgers, for this whole area. There is not eelgrass, but there is SAV in the area. I would actually like to have that mapped because I'd like to be on the outside of it. I don't want them to start launching kayaks in the middle of grass. And it, like I said, it's not eelgrass, but there are SAV identified
Yeah,
in the
it's on,
area.
it's the green grass, it's on the
It's
rocks.
It's the lettuce, it's the sea
Yeah,
lettuce.
I know
and
it's
the-
there.
All
and
right.
the purple stuff, yeah.
We're not gonna resolve this today.
So I'd like to have the survey redone. If she's really serious about a dock, I want it to
So
be
get
done
an
the right way.
updated survey with,
I
more,
wanna see that line.
better water depths and,
Yeah.
you know, SAV, the submerged
Yeah,
aquatic
because I could take it from
vegetation.
the aerial, and the surveyor can actually map the edge of it on the aerial.
Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put this on hold,
Got it.
and we're gonna then go into executive session for the purposes of personnel. And then we'll continue on with this meeting after we're done with our executive session. That's what we're gonna do today.
Okay, if I could hold it over, because I really need to talk to her.
Yeah, we're gonna put it on hold.
Probably
You gotta
actually-
talk to the DEC anyway.
It's
correct?
on hold.
Well, I
Is-
want to talk to
is
the
this
owner
yours, Chip, or
because
hers?
the property actually changed to her
Joe's?
son's
All
name.
right.
So I need to get the transfer deed, reflect updated survey conditions, updated soundings. It's a different owner
Yes.
right now.
Yes.
She
Right.
sold it to the son or
Yes, we
put it in a
reviewed the
estate or
1030.
something.
I know.
They were
So I
scheduled
need to
for 10:30.
update.
You-
So hold
we-
over.
You're on hold because we have an
Hold over.
executive session that we are 20-plus
I'm not
minutes
coming
over.
back, just hold
Yeah.
it over.
Okay.
Okay. All right, I'll update you when I have more.
Folks, I'd like to make a motion to kind of put this meeting on pause briefly to go into an executive session for the purposes of personnel.
Yes, this is a previously scheduled exit.
Previously scheduled exec session that is now late.
Okay, I'll second that.
Seconded by trustee Warner, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay, folks, we have to put this part of the meeting on hold, go into exec, and then we will resume the meeting.